Where was I?
You're on the couch.
Ah, God!
I tied Andy to a chair, so he had to be here for this one. This is the last time we can call on one of our honorable mentions. So here it is, and it begins with Z.
Zed.
It's not how you say it. 4. The Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time.
Oh, so you're just doing this because of the
Randomizers. Exclusively the randomizers, yes. You see, Ocarina of Time is a fine game. A complete adventure with a story you can get way too involved in and argue about the meanings of until your lungs collapse. I didn't think much of it after having played other better and worse Zelda games in my life and other games in general. Ocarina of Time may have once been the pinnacle of 3D travel, plot, and controls, but it is no longer, and I never looked at it as such. It is a baseline by which I judge most other games in the genre.
Until I told you about randomizers.
Andy says it like a bad thing, like he combined my two favorite things, an addiction to safe and free random chance that has new effect every time you look at it, and middle-of-the-road games I know the layout of fairly well. You did this to me, you know.
It's one of my 2 lifelong regrets.
Anyway, Andy taught me of and built me a randomizer for Ocarina of Time. I didn't know this was possible, or at all interesting, but I was immediately in love. We all know what randomizers are, but at the time, I didn't. I didn't know Skulltulas could hold music or weapons in their stupid bodies. I didn't know on-field rupees could be replaced with essential resources. I didn't know bosses could vomit out junk instead of the heavily relied upon heart containers. This was all new to me and all so awesome. Andy even tricked me into buying an EverDrive so we could sneak a randomized ROM onto original hardware.
I also built you a custom Mario Party 2 board with a swath of new controls and mechanics, you know, but we never talk about that.
Yeah, but this isn't about you yet. We're getting that. You see, in my travels through life and randomized Ocarina of Time seeds, I discovered a certain boredom that began to set in. This needed another layer. This needed something completely off the rocks insane that would increase my love of randomizers even further than before. This needed more players.
Why did you glue my hands to a controller?
I eventually discovered that you can play Ocarina of Time randomizers with friends. I'm not sure how many other people can join the very same world and hunt items with you, fight bosses nearby you, and react to similarly placed enemies and hazards together, but one day I'd like to find out. That blew my still developing mind.
You learned of this 2 years ago and you're 30. What part of your brain is still developing?
My sense to not shove you into the next room. I bring these up because I have played many a randomizer using these multiplayer hacks and patches, not only with Andy, but with members of the G2D community as well. We spend 2 or 3 nights striking down Skulltulas and completing reachable dungeons in search of the end of the game. Of course, ModLoader hates that we use its very specific service to play this game, and it crashes right before the end every single time, but we still had more fun than any human could alone in this game. There are so many memorable moments of us playing not only an Ocarina of Time randomizer together, but Majora's Mask as well. We attempted some other multiplayer ones, but those aren't as stable.
For the record, I don't like randomizers.
That's why you're sitting on a chair and I'm standing and being excited.
I'm not sitting by choice. I think you used leftover cheese to stick me to this.
I may have. Anyway, these randomizers deserve a special shout out under the umbrella of Ocarina of Time because they are their own breed of an excellent time to be had with friends. We even involve other community members to be our guiding fairy. We give them the spoiler log and have them guide us to important weapons and upgrades we need to defeat Ganondorf. It really has elevated the feelings I have for Ocarina of Time over our several randomizers. It's still a very okay game on its own, but when mixed with items that can be anywhere and held by anyone, friends who can have their character model be almost anything, and enemy placements that don't exactly sync up on more than one game world, you have a recipe for chaos. Chaos and fun.
Okay, I think he's letting me talk now. What game starting with Z do you hold near and dear to your heart? Let us know in the comments and we'll see you soon for what we have planned next.